but we welcome in a man who knows the Warriors better than anyone, Bonta. Let's start here. Obviously, we're going to get to the series. For those that are watching, for those that are on social media, you see we've been showing clips of De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron is getting him up at practice. He's shooting. He's doing it in plain sight of the media. Bonta just said it's doubtful that De'Aaron's going to be in street clothes tomorrow. Like, we all believe De'Aaron's gonna play tomorrow. And I think that's all been heightened by what we saw at practice today. So we'll get to all that. I want to talk about the series again. No one knows the Golden State Warriors better than you. Why are you guys so sensitive? That's what I want to ask you about. Why are you guys so sensitive when a couple of brothers from Sacramento say, hey, maybe the Kings have played a factor in these monster ratings that this Kings Warriors series has gotten in the first round?
See, I think it's the other way around. The little brother syndrome kicking in up there in the 916. I get it. I haven't been here for a while, and you guys are participants in the Warriors Invitational. I threw a shot at Kitty, say, oh, man, look at this guy talking about the Kings moving the needle. We know what time it is. The nation on Sunday afternoon was like, oh, the Warriors are down 2-1. Oh, it's a close game at half. Oh, Keegan Murray is lighting it up. Oh, them boys down 9 early in the third quarter. Ooh, we want to see the death of a dynasty, a live viewing of the funeral of the Golden State Warriors. So people were tapped in. It's like Money Mayweather. Kitty knows this, D-Lo. When we bought those pay-per-views, a lot of us bought those pay-per-views to watch Floyd Money Mayweather lose. And that's what the nation is doing when they tap into the Golden State Warriors. Whether it's the Pelicans, whether it's the Beijing Ducks, whether it's some team in Greece, they want to see the dubs. And that's why, hey, look, you guys play a fun brand of basketball. Lovable, upstart team, the underdogs. You got a nice.
Some would say adorable.
But what's that?
Some would say we're adorable.
Yeah, I would say you're cute too. I mean, you guys, I'm telling you, man, the uniforms and the Golden One Center crowd, you know what it is, man. Public Enemy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is saying that on these airways at 916. It's a cute story, but we know what's moving the needle. It's Steph Curry. It's Klay. It's Draymond coming off a suspension, something you guys haven't touched on. People want to see, how is Day-Day going to react to being suspended? How is Day-Day going to react to coming off the bench? What about Klay and Jordan Poole? And so there you have it, man. They should be a part of history. They should be a part of our trade here, man.
Hold on. You think people tune in to see Klay and Jordan Poole? You think people will be like, yo, I can't wait to get home to see Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole.
Hey, man, let me cook here, Kenny, all right? Let me cook here, all right? Let me cook here. I should have stopped that Day-Day. Let me cook a little bit here, okay?
So let me ask you this. I hear everything you're saying. Let me ask you this. And I'll read this for you. Game 1, Kings Warriors averaged 3.2 rating, 6.26 million viewers on ABC. It was the most watched game on the opening day of the postseason since 2001. Now, the Warriors, were they in danger of going down 3-1 in Game 1?
No, they weren't.
Everybody was trying to see the death of a dynasty in Game 1. Is that what that was about?
People were like, ooh, that little beam that they light up, and you can see it from outer space that's using up all that PG&E up in the 916. We want to see what this beam is about. Oh, my God, that team hasn't been in the playoffs in 17 years. You know what I'm saying? Oh, look at that crowd. Oh, there's Mark Jones on the broadcast. Oh, Doris Burke. You know what? Let's tune into this. We got nothing else to do on a Saturday night across the nation. I don't even know what they were up against. So, yeah, sure. Let's tune in for that for game number 1.
So let me ask him another question. Why have these numbers killed every other first-round series you've been in?
Well, because you look at the first-round opponents. Nobody wants to see Anthony Davis in them.
Excuse me. Hold on. What did you just say?
In the first round.
Hold on. We got to stop. What did you just say? You said the first round.
I just said. I don't need to repeat myself again.
The reason why it is because of the first round. What? The first round opponents?
You guys are the number 3 seed. We all knew the Warriors were smacking the Pelicans and sweeping them. You know what I'm saying? And I was the first runner to go to State Warriors. They thought it was a gimmick, right? Like my boy Rob Parker would say, the GMOAT, the greatest mirage of all time, the GMOAT. So they didn't know what was happening there with the Golden State Warriors. They didn't know that. Now they know, oh, these are 4-time champs. These are the Bulls of the 90s. Oh, we got to tap in. So it's a little different. And I bet you half the nation didn't even know New Orleans had a basketball team. Now you bring New Orleans.
New Orleans had a basketball.
Look, who they played last year in the first round?
The Nuggets.
The MVP.
The MVP.
The MVP.
Well, let me stop you right there, KC.
Well, nobody knew about the MVP, huh?
No. I'll tell you what, KC. Go look at Altitude Sports out there in Denver, Colorado. They have some of the lowest local ratings for their basketball team in the NBA. They're at the bottom, and they got the 2-time MVP. Denver, Colorado don't even give a damn about the Nuggets, let alone the nation.
Okay. When we talk about ratings, Sacramento always bring the ratings.
I give you guys credit. I give you guys credit. I will give you guys credit.
The national championship game in football, top 5, Sacramento's in there.
You guys got a great sports market, no doubt. Y'all tapped in.
Sacramento's in there.
I give y'all credit. The Kings are a hell of a basketball team. They have my respect. You will never, ever hear me call Davion Mitchell all night again. You know what I'm saying? The boy's a dog. I disrespected him. All right? I knew what he was at Baylor. But I said, man, Steph Curry's starting to cook and starting to get by him. The Kings got my respect. They're scared of living the hell out of me, man. K4, I'm like this, like, damn. Man, we just got what's going on here, man? 3-1. And when the Spartan shot went up, I said, oh, boy, this is going to change the whole tone of the postgame show, man. My boy Steph Curry, the Golden Child, go blow this like this, pulling the C-Web. Sacramento has my respect. They do. Absolutely, they do. But I'm gonna talk this talk to these fan base. Don't worry. I'm not Matt George here talking about or the fat ass at that old stadium out there talking about. Nobody listens to his morning show, and you know who I'm talking about. The mentee of the fired play-by-play guy at the Sacramento Kings. Those bozos out there. Listen. I'm gonna talk that talk. I'm here. I'm not Sausalito Joe. You know what I'm talking about? We gonna talk this talk. So Sacramento it's a great sports town. I'm not gonna take shots at the city because I'm not gonna say, well, there's nothing else to do in Sacramento. The Bay Area has become a transient city. People come and go, whatever. My city ain't the same. I know that. But look, it is the Warriors Invitational, and people probably were more tuned in to see what Draymond was going to respond, what his response was, and the death of a potential dynasty. So let's get that straight.
As long as we agree that it's over after the night.
You see, some girl got to get in here, man. Hey, no, hey, stop. Let me handle this, babe. Let me handle this. AC and D'Lo, let me handle this. These boys are Sacramento cooking now. We don't need you in this. We don't need you in this, babe. All right.
Look at Bonta protecting his wife. Look at that. Protect her. Smart move.
Hey,
the second she jumps on camera, she's fair game.
Hey, I don't need the charity house to be jumping on their Instagram, dropping them comments, and then I got to get involved and roll these sleeves up. We don't need that here.
Bonta, let's talk about this series.
Going on?
Let's talk about this series. What have you seen over the last 2 games that has shifted this series now from 2-0 to 2-2?
Well, it's the experience of the Warriors, right? And let's be honest, the one big lineup. We talked before the series. I talked about it on my show. D'Lo and I, we've texted. It's the one big lineup. And we saw it in glimpses in the Western Conference Finals of game number 2 when the Warriors were down 22. And the best thing that happened in that game, and I love Draymond Green. He's walking into Springfield, Massachusetts as a Hall of Famer. But the best thing that happened in that game was him getting in foul trouble because the paint was so congested. In that game, and Mavericks, Jason Kidd does a great job, the Mavericks head coach, of playing games with Draymond Green. Knowing he doesn't shoot, he would put Jalen Brunson on him, knowing that he's physical and he could take away that split action where Draymond's either passing at the low block or he's at the top of the key. He would just sick Jalen Brunson on him, like frustrate Draymond Green, rattle him. And then, of course, in game 4 against the Boston Celtics in the finals, when Steve Kerr said, I got to make an executive decision. Come on, you have to sit. I'm going with Looney, Wiggins, Poole at times, GP2, Curry, and Klay. Like, you're not playing. And down the stretch, the Warriors were able to move that ball. And you saw it in game 3, which I think the coaches that night said, we got to make some decisions here. When it's Looney and Draymond on the floor together, Mike Brown's like, dude, they're playing 3-on-5 on offense. So let's blitz these passing lanes when Klay and Curry are coming off these screens, and let's suffocate them. In game 2, in game 1 and 2, y'all was really blitzing the hell out those passing lanes and really making it hard for the Warriors in the half court. Now you go to game 3 with the one big lineup. Looney's taking the ball at the free throw line, looking around, and he's in that triple threat position. And all of a sudden, you got more lanes for Jordan Poole. You got more space for Steph Curry. You got more space for Klay Thompson coming off those screens at the three-point line. And Andrew Wiggins is able to go one-on-one and operate with a lot of space. The one big lineup changed this entire complexion of the series here because Looney can hold his own against Sabonis. Matt George talking about Looney was food. Matt George, we're going to talk to him on my show. He's got to answer to me. By the way, that Warrior fan back in 2013 talking about I'm a Warrior fan now. We got you, buddy. Hey, Warrior, Dub Nation, that's one thing we do well. We find receipts. We got you, Matt George. Got you, buddy. But the one big lineup, D-Lo, we've been texting back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say they're better without Draymond Green because they needed Draymond Green for game 4. He played well in that game, even though he went 3 of 14 and smoked some bunnies there. I thought he played well defensively. I know KC don't want to give him his love, but it's the one big lineup. And I think that opened up everything for the Warriors offensively, and they were able to hold their own defensively. I think that changed everything in games 3 and 4.
KC, before you go, can we play this real quick? Because obviously this pertains to Bonta too. This was Fox just minutes ago.
Most likely, yeah. I mean, for me right now, it's just the tolerance on like the pad of my finger, making sure I can shoot the ball. How?
So the question was, do you think you're going to be able to play tomorrow? His answer was most likely.
Yeah. He's not.
So,
You don't give it a try. I know that.
No, he's not missing that game, KC, D-Lo. And the whole, I know there's some ridiculous talk about conspiracy theories and casemanship. I never bought into it. I never drunk that Kool-Aid. That's disrespectful to Mike Brown. It's just disrespectful to that Sacramento Kings organization. It's disrespectful to De'Aaron Fox. Look, man, I tweeted this early in game 4. Said these boys ain't no punks, man. It's time to give them respect. They're pushing the Warriors to the limit. Like in that fourth quarter, my was hanging on for dear life, man. Them legs were shot. Wiggins at that point. That's why Draymond Green had to guard Fox at some point. Because it was like, dude, this dude Fox is running all over the place. He's got that killer in him. We need to chill, man. Throw some more bodies on him. And Steve Kerr, this is how desperate the Warriors were in that game 4. And that's why whoever wins game 5, I believe, is going to win the series. Because after game 5, there's only a day off between games. I think that favors the younger Sacramento Kings. That's why it's imperative for the Warriors to win game 5 and try to shut it down in game 6. Like last year against Memphis, where if they had to travel back to Memphis for game 7, it was not going to be pretty for the Dubs at all. They were running on fumes by the end of that series. And so you look at Steve Kerr's rotation in game 4, it was 6 dudes. And I said this midway through the year. Forget the Anthony Lambs, forget the Ty Jeromes, forget the Moses Moody's, even my boy Jonathan Kuminga. It's coming down to the foundational 6. It's Draymond, it's Steph, it's Klay, it's Looney, it's Wiggins, it's Jordan Poole. And you saw all those dudes play at least 26 minutes in game 4. So including Steph Curry, who played 42 minutes and 42 seconds. He was gassed at the end of that game. So that's what it's coming down to. But the winner to me in game 5 is going to win this series.
I can dig that. I can dig that for sure. I want to go back to that one big lineup. Again, I want to ask you a question. Do you think we continue this fake hustle and we see Draymond come off the bench in game 5? Because that was fake hustle, doing it for the team. I don't want to mess up the team, because as soon as the second half buzzer sounded, guess who was out there to start the second half? Draymond. So do we keep this hustle up, or does he start in game 5?
Him starting that third quarter surprised the heck out of me, because it wasn't like the starters got off to a bad start. It was 15-14, was going back and forth, nice high-level play. The shot making was great. And really, when Draymond Green checked into the first quarter, Sacramento went on a little run there at the end of the first quarter to take a lead going into the second. So I don't know, man. I think Steve Kerr needs to stick with the one big lineup, man. Look at the 31 assists. Look at the ball moving in game 3. And then look at the ball moving in game 4 when you went to the one big lineup. Now, I know he stole some minutes with Looney and Draymond Green. I don't think you could go long stretches with that lineup. Again, I told you guys this leading up to the series. We touched on this. D-Lo and I have been texting every day about the series. The one big lineup. Now, the whole thing about Draymond Green doing this and doing that, I'm going to let the media eat that up. I know what's what. I know, and everybody knows, involved with that Golden State Warriors organization, Steve Kerr had to make that move. He had to make that move and say, Draymond, you got to take one for the team. Now, again, I don't think coming off the bench is an end-all, be-all. Look at Malik Monk. He's closing games. He's going to see his 25 to 30 minutes. Draymond, you're going to see your 30 minutes. You're going to see your 34 minutes here. So it's not about, look, you're not going to get your name introduced in the starting lineup. Fine, whatever. Suck it up. You're getting paid $25 million. I think you could chill off of that. It's imperative to get Jordan Poole in the series. And that's the difference. Jordan Poole, when he starts, he averages 25 a game. When he doesn't, he's a 15-point per game player with no and he's not a factor at all. So getting him in that lineup to let him play alongside Klay and Steph, to give him Poole to operate, because he's one of the few guys on this team that that can get to the rim at will and get to the free throw line. And that's where Jordan Poole makes a difference in the series. Start them, let them cook, get to the free throw line, get some dudes in foul trouble, and give them that space. And then you see the turnovers low for Jordan Poole in the last 2 games. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, he's not a turnover machine. He only had 3 turnovers the last 2 games. So I think that's the thing. You have to unlock Jordan Poole. And the best way by doing that is going into one big lineup. And you know what, Draymond Green, you got to sacrifice for the better good of the team.
Bonta, this Warriors team, this year, this version, did they throw their best punch at Sacramento on Sunday?
I think they had to. I think they did. Look at the shots they made. I mean, there were some warning signs in that game where Sacramento went up 9 in the second quarter. It was 45-36. Steve Kerr had to comment down saying, we're about to get blown out the gym if y'all don't suck it up, because Keegan Murray showed up to play. I thought that was the Warriors throwing everything at Sacramento. It was a desperation game. I mean, that was the series. You know, like you think about it, 3-1 going up to Sacramento, boy, that would have been tough sledding. I don't think this version of the Warriors can win 3 straight against Sacramento. That's just my honest opinion. Would I bet against them? Absolutely not. But this version, from what I've seen this year, they're not back and winning 3 straight games against Sacramento, including 2 games at Golden 1, the G1C. So I do think, D-Lo, that they gave everything they had in game 4. And you can see that with the rotations. The rotations will tell you what Steve Kerr thought about everything. JK, you're not seeing more than 3 minutes. Get on the bench. Moses Moody, you'll get 5. Sit on the bench. Dante DiVincenzo, he was even unplayable in game 4. So again, the top 6 of that rotation, including Jordan Poole, he got 26 minutes. Everybody else was in the 30s. And then instead, of course, in the 40s, playing 42 minutes. So I do believe they gave everything they had in that game 4 to steal that game.
You know, Bonta, you tweeted out something the other day that I got to be honest with you, I didn't realize, and it kind of makes sense when you talk about some of the struggles of Kevin Huerter and, you know, kind of the Kings offense, the wings, Keegan, up until, you know, maybe this last game. And that's Klay Thompson and what he's done on the defensive end. And I think the numbers where he's like, I think all these guys like Huerter, Keegan Murray, and there was another guy that are like a combined 0 of 10 when guarded by Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize it. And when I went back and looked at these guys, I was like, he is doing a better job than I thought he was going to be able to do on the defensive end coming into this game. Coming into the series? Is that something that you guys have noticed as well? Is like Klay, you know, he's playing a little, he's never going to be what he was on defense, but he's playing a little bit of that Klay Thompson defense before all the leg injuries.
You know, when Klay Thompson was in his prime before the injuries, KC, he was never a great off-the-ball defender. He would wander around. He would get lost. He was so good on the ball because it was right in front of him, right? And he knows where it's going. He could lock in on that. Off the ball, he's always struggled, and you've seen that this season. But the whole thing about his defense being trash and he's not the same guy, that was all overrated. And some of it is about Warrior fans, entitled Warrior fans who are like, go bench Klay. You know, Klay's washed and this and that. And I'm like, this dude just had the best month of his career in January, the third best month of his career in February, and he's been on a heater since. You know, some people were like, well, you know, you take away the 4 best games he had in March and he struggled. Well, what if you took the 4 worst games in the month of March? What those numbers look like? So we could all play that game. Klay Thompson has been so steady, and he's fighting to get back. Sure, is he the same defender? Can he guard De'Aaron Fox? Absolutely not. Before the injuries, maybe he slows Fox down. But the Kevin Huerters and the Keegan Murrays, he can hold his own there. And even that said, Keegan Murray got off and came up for 4. And that worries me. Now all of a sudden he's feeling good, feeling like, oh, these are what the playoffs about. It took me 3 games here. But to me, looking at the Sacramento side, you guys have not been able to get Huerter and Keegan going during the same game. Mm-hmm. You know, Huerter was just MIA in game 4. That was as bad as I've seen him play. I think he bounces back in game 5. Keegan Murray, what he had 10 points behind in the first 3 games, all of a sudden he lights it up in game number 4. And so I think the exaggeration of Klay's demise, it started with our own fan base. I got to deal with it every single morning. Hell, my co-host sometimes, we about to get in a fight because Joe Shasty's like, you got to go Poole. He's watching. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? This is a statue guy. Like, it's like Niner fans disrespecting Dwight Clark in his twilight or something. You know what I'm saying? You just don't do certain things like that. I'm going to ride with Klay. If he's a marginal player, if he's averaging 15, shooting 37%, I don't really care because of the moments he's provided this fan base. the saviors in 2016, the Game 6 Klay that hopefully we get for Warrior fans coming up Friday night if they can survive Game 5. Game 6 Klay. Hopefully I get a Game 5 and 6 Klay. But he's been great. He's been fine in this series.
Well, there's you got 2 games left or 3 games left, 2 at the Golden One Center. With that, who has the most pressure on them heading into tomorrow night's game?
I think it's such an even series. I would say Sacramento, because if they go down 3-2 coming to Chase, the Warriors know how to close teams out. Yeah. And at Chase Center, what are they, 13-1 all time in the postseason? The dental office, I should say, where hopefully that Novocaine did y'all right. Hopefully that Vicodin did y'all right. You know what I'm saying? You was able to rest on Monday, D-Lo, and KC coming from that watch party up there.
I ain't rested since this damn series got set.
The Novocaine.
The Novocaine, man. I know it hit hard after Sunday, man. I know that thing hit hard.
Hotel lobby. That's a damn Sheraton hotel lobby.
Hey, man, that drill was deep in the grill at 3:30 Sunday afternoon. Root canal, you need a crown too? You know what I'm saying? So I think the pressure slightly is on Sacramento. But with that said, in the back of my mind, I'm saying the Warriors can't lose this game. They're running on fumes here. And again, that schedule heats up. 1 day off between games 6 and 7, 5 to 6 to 7. So I think, look, this is such a great series. This has been fantastic. Like I came away from game 4 and I didn't even want to talk trash to Kings fans. I said, you know what? That's what we live for. That's what we live for. When we grew up watching the NBA on NBC and we're watching those triple headers where both our teams weren't in the playoffs, we both were stinking and we had to pick a team in the playoffs. I said, I just want my team to be in these classic games. I would love to be in these classic games like a Suns-Rockets series in 93, 94. When the Rockets are coming back from 3-1, you get the kiss of death from Mario Ellie. Sunday's game is as good as it gets for the NBA. And I'm glad the ratings reflected that. You had great shot making. You didn't have a lot of turnovers. It was just good, clean, hard-nosed basketball at the highest levels. You had trash talk. You had technicals. You had block shots. You had everything in that basketball game. And I think we're going to get that in game 5. And I think the winner of game 5, because these teams are taking flesh out of each other, man. I mean, the Kings are throwing haymakers at the champs. The champs are holding off for dear life, making crazy shots. The winner of game 5 to me is the winner of this series. So I think the pressure early on will be on Sacramento, but if they settle into that game, they're going to start running up and down. And how do the Warriors hold up? Can they go to Moses Moody? Can they go deep into the bench against Sacramento in game 5? Because, again, De'Aaron Fox is playing. Like, I'm not fooled. I'm not boo-boo the fool here. The little finger injury that broke, I say, wow, okay. Yeah, he's playing. That's a little index finger. Yeah, he's going to go. As John Morant's going in with damn near a broken right hand trying to dunk on LeBron James, De'Aaron Fox is cut from a different cloth. He is playing.
Yeah. Hell of a series.
Yeah.
Hell of a series, man. Just stand up.
I do want to say, I want to make it perfectly clear. The wifey, she came in earlier and said what she had to say. She was ready to go to the promised land. She was ready to go to Atlanta.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know what happened with Bonta.
Threw me with that. I was like, where's this
wifey
going?
was ready to go.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
Bonta, I don't know what happened. Bonta, it didn't happen.
Listen,
Bonta
she's about that life.
Let us buy plane tickets.
Hey, let me tell you, man, she's about that life, man. We flew to Seattle on game day. You know what I'm saying? Ready to roll. She is about that life. Hey, babe, we had to go get a new TV, right? It's right behind me. A little 65. She go ahead and charge it to the game. It's all good. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's roll. She's about
that. She literally meant charge it to the game.
Charge it to the game.
Charge it to them. Charge it to them. Hey.
But hey, listen, the chatty house, they've been down on my chat. They've been a little quiet the last 2 days. I saw Michael. I saw him put his chat, and some dude named Manuel. He's been all in. Dude, they don't even mess with Sausalito Joe right now because Shaq's like, well, forget all the trash talk. I said, the hell with that. I'm gonna talk that talk. You see KC and D-Lo up there, son, and Matt George. I got to represent for Dub Nation. We ain't going out like no fucks.
Here's what you need to know though. Some of your chatty house crew, your roasters, if you will. Oh, they with us now. Yeah, scroll through that. They might be Warriors fans. They with D-Lo and KC right now.
No, I'm glad y'all got some new fans out of this. I know the 916 loves me. When I come up there, they're gonna give me a standing ovation. Now, some people may think I can't go up there, but I heard I eat for free a second ago.
You always welcome here. Now, your social media manager, he could stay his ass at home.
Yeah.
But you, the wifey, You guys are welcome up here.
Y'all
I'm
go
not
to
touching
niggas,
that one, man. I saw that. I said, boys is getting cooked out here in these streets during this series. It's been a long 2 weeks for some folks, man. I was
Comment off.
hey, D-Lo, you got Kyle Draper out here apologizing and stuff. I said, man, is that deep? I said, damn. You got Matt Morris coming at me talking about, hey, we could do it all. I'm with the smoke. We could box. We could do fun. Hey, Matt Morris, we ain't boxing with you, dog. I just seen you check dudes at the SF Pro Web. We ain't going that deep, homie.
Drape's out here issuing apologies on behalf of all of us. Like, Drape, mind your business. We got this. We all right. Bonta, you always welcome here, man. We appreciate you. No matter what, this series is coming to a conclusion, man. It's going to end here pretty soon, so we'll tap in again. But we appreciate you.
Hey, absolutely, man. Likewise, man. It's been a hell of a series, but again, the 916. I'm gonna keep bumping my gums, man.
You know, we here too.
You hear that? You hear that? You hear that? You hear that? We out here, baby. We out here. What's up?
Get your house in order, man. We appreciate you. The Hill family, we appreciate you. And thank you guys. That's my brother Bonta Hill, Public Enemy 1, 2, 3, 4.